Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the June 2020 Discmemberment of the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian. And I think this is like the month where things are kind of catching up. Like, where I think the last of the early, the released horror films are kind of coming out this month. And I think there's some good, some cool special editions that were kind of in the works coming out. But I'm kind of interested to see how, like, what July may bring for the Discmemberment, because this June may be our last, like, really packed one for some time.
Yeah, this one's kind of a weird month because it's very front-loaded. You'll see in our first week, we look like we're getting the back end of all the May releases, that huge May month. Looks like we're getting another full slate on the first week of June. And then you kind of have some unevenness.
Yeah.
And June has 5 Tuesdays in it, so this is kind of an odd month in that respect. But it doesn't have a larger number of films because of that 5 weeks. It's a very average month. We had, maybe 20, little over 20 titles. So it's going to be interesting to see what July brings. Is it going to be heavy or is it going to be super light? I have a feeling, just based on the way June's going, I have a feeling we're going to see things start winding down, and July may be a very short month.
Yeah, because remember, I mean, it takes time to get these discs out, and a lot of we may not have known about it coming up, but the companies, the production companies knew that what their June slate was going to be like months ago, obviously pre-pandemic. So, and some stuff may have been fast-tracked, like the Hunt. We don't know when that was actually scheduled. Invisible Man, same thing, because that all kind of got rushed into home release in some form or another. So it was kind of like we had this weird transition, but now with July coming, you go back 3 months from July to June, May, April. Well, that's right when this, in March is when this started. So that's kind of when those theatrical releases stopped, essentially. So it'll be weird because 3 months is usually the shortest window, like something will be released like that. So it'll be really weird to see. I mean, I'm sure there was stuff already slated for that, but summers tends to be slow anyway. So because theatrical releases are so big, so this could be really odd. If we have to see if things get pushed up or just kind of let to slide up until the fall and ramped up for Halloween.
Yeah, and this month is also unusual in that despite having 5 weeks, Brian and I agreed on every pick of the week this month.
Yeah,
which kind of shows you it kind of shows you that these weeks there were some obvious picks for pick of the week.
Yeah,
in some respects. Although I feel like I need to explain some of mine because there are some like really well-known titles in some of these weeks that you may say, why did they pass that up? But I have my reasoning.
Yeah, and I think I know which ones they're going to be too, and I probably have the same reasons. But, remember, we've explained this before. The pick of the week is something that, it's not just, it's the best movie out there or even our favorite movie. It could be that it's the true content or the rarity, or maybe it's a first-time release, or maybe it's just a packed disc, or maybe it's just something that you never thought you'd ever see on a Blu-ray, and then it's here. So yeah, we do have a lot of different criteria what goes into our pick of the week, and there are some also that I figure like. I don't know. I don't know about you, Tim, but see, sometimes I will look at it and I won't go with the obvious one just for that reason. Because, like, just week 1 alone, there's one for me that I'd be like, okay, well, this has got to be a no-brainer. But then I have a feeling this is going to be our first one where we kind of explain why we didn't pick it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's the first one we're going to discuss, so you'll see what we mean in a second.
Yeah, I kind of look at it this way. When I go to the pick of the week, it's almost a gut feeling of if you laid all these discs out in front of me and said, Tim, you can have one of these discs for free, which one will it be? Sometimes that's the one I say, that's my pick of the week. Right. And like you said, it may not be the obvious choice that you think that I would pick, but there's always a reason behind it. And sometimes it's just like a kind of a gut feeling. But I guess we'll get right into it, Brian. We got a kind of a packed show tonight. And I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's start things off with June 2nd. All right, so first up, Universal Studios is releasing yet another edition of Jaws. This is the Jaws 4K 45th Anniversary Edition from 1975. I'll go ahead and read the description, but if you haven't seen Jaws yet, I don't know what you're doing listening to this podcast. When a seaside community finds itself under attack by a great white shark, 3 men embark on a quest to kill it before it strikes again. And I did not find a lot of details on what's going to be different with this release, other than obviously being the nice 4K edition. But I don't recall seeing anything crazy in terms of features and must-have type new things on here. I don't know if you looked, Brian. There wasn't a lot of information when I first looked at this.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. I have a feeling that it's either going to be mostly the same features of the previous editions, maybe with a possibly some added featurette on transferring to 4K or something like that. But other than that, I mean, the last big release of this, I remember that I bought had a ton of content on it. So I really don't see how they're going to add to that. It's probably going to be just either one, literally like a rehash of all that, maybe add a little one, but that could be it.
Now I will be picking this up because I do not have this in 4K. I don't have a 4K TV yet, so eventually I will be grabbing this. But that last edition that came out looked incredible. So I can't wait to see what this thing's going to look like on a 4K setup.
Yeah, they showed the official Universal site actually posted the opening scene in 4K. You could watch that whole opening scene and kill with Chrissy, and it does look pretty. And I watched it first on my phone, and it looked amazing. It was so clear, so crisp. But yeah, but this is going to be one of the first discs I think I buy when I upgrade to the 4K, because it's like just one of those movies you're gonna want to see in there. And and I believe it or not, I saw some criticism on this with someone saying, and one of the, I think it was under the comments where they posted the scene where they're like, well, this 4K transitions, if it's, you can only make it look so good because it's, it wasn't shot, it was shot in the same film. But I'm like, yeah, but there's some technology involved to make it look good. I mean, so it's like, I don't understand why people criticize stuff like that, but oh well.
Yeah, I mean, they're making it look as good as it can possibly look.
Yeah, I mean, is that bad? And especially, you gotta think of it this way: with everyone upgrading their TVs, if you don't upgrade the movies that you're showing on it, it's going to look worse than better. So I don't understand the criticism of it. I mean, I get people not wanting to buy it 15 times, but then if that's not your favorite, like to me, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, I'm going to upgrade every time.
Yeah. There are some purists out there, some film purists out there that just don't want to see these movies, and I can understand to an extent, like, because if you do the remastering wrong, it can look really bad if you don't know what you're doing. But I think this movie's in good hands.
Yeah,
this is too much of a classic.
Like I said, from the clip I saw, like it looks like they did a good job. So. And that, by the way, that was to me was going to be like, I think if the pick that we picked wasn't in there, this would have been a no-brainer. I think.
I think so
the
too.
Pick of the week. But next one is so this is another one I still cannot believe I've not gotten to see it, even though and Joe Bob showed it and everything. But that was a night I wasn't my sinuses were just off the hook bad, and I just could not keep my eyes open anymore with the sinus pressure. And that's One Cut of the Dead. That's of course been on Shudder for a long time. I still need to watch this, and that's the thing. It's like I know I'm gonna love this movie, but I'm probably gonna watch it on Shudder first before I go ahead and pull the trigger on it. But anyway, just in case you don't know the plot, things go badly for a hack director and film crew shooting a low-budget zombie movie in an abandoned World War II Japanese facility when they are attacked by real zombies. So right there, the premise, I mean, is we know that's a good premise. That's funny. It's kind of been, that kind of like, oh, let's go create something, oh my god, and then the real thing happens. It's been done before, but from what I understand, they've done this one really well, and it's a shame that I have not seen this yet. I'm disappointed in myself. Maybe I'm going to force myself to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, and they did an interesting thing, too, with this one, it being on Shudder now. They did the same thing as they did with Tigers Are Not Afraid, which is they put it in like a really nice steelbook edition to get you to buy the physical media, which is fine.
And that was hard to get. Tigers Are Not Afraid. I pre-ordered it on Best Buy. Best Buy never got it, and they kept delaying it. So I went to go, I think I was going to order it on Amazon, and they had it, but it was, but I think then they were back-ordered on it. So I was literally having trouble finding it. And then I found it, actually, a Walmart had it, and I did one of the store pickups where that I ordered it. So I got that and Satanic Panic as like a kind of little like Shudder / Fangoria 2-pack there. And both I wanted to add to my collection anyway because I love both those films. And as I've said many times, Tigers Are Not Afraid is one of my favorite I've seen last year. So to me, I'm like, you know what, no brainer. So added those to the monolith. But yeah, so it's a smart way to do it though. I mean, because, especially if you're a horror fan that loves these movies, 99% chance of you having Shudder. So it's kind of asking a lot where you're still paying for Shudder and it's still available. They need to give you something to kind of entice you to buy it when you could just turn it on. But like me, I it's for the collector aspect. I like to have movies in my collection that are my favorites. I like to so it's like, and I know it's not going to be on Shudder forever. So
yeah, it's always nice to own it. And we have a few extras on this one.
Yeah, it's not that. It's like just some outtakes, POM instructional video, a GoPro version of the film, which that sounds like a really fun feature, and then a photo gallery. So
yeah, I did not watch the trailer because the trailer said warning, spoilers ahead. So I was like, oh, well, I better not watch this. At least they told you. I mean, I guess that's a good thing. All right, so next up is one we've definitely been wanting to see. I meant to watch this one before this recording because I wanted to talk about it a little more, but I just never got the chance. This is Extraordinary from Cranked Up Films from last year, 2019. Rose, a sweet small-town driving instructor, is gifted with supernatural abilities, the talents, which means she can talk to the spirit world. Rose has a love-hate relationship with her abilities after seeing what they did to her dad, Vincent, and tries to ignore the constant small-time spiritual requests from locals. Haunted rubbish bins, tractors, children's bikes, frying pans, etc. Yet when her help is requested by Sarah, a teenager whose father, Martin, is being haunted by his deceased nagging wife, she is very tempted. And I heard somebody describe this as kind of a ghost version of What We Do in the Shadows. So I'm so looking forward to seeing this one. It looks really funny. The trailer is actually not what I expected. I thought this was going to be more of a like paranormal ghost hunter type spoof, but it looks like it's a little more complex than that, so I'm really looking forward to seeing this one.
Yeah, that I definitely do want to. This is one of those I'll have to, because especially after I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, this is a little different than I thought, but still, I want to see it.
Yeah, no extras listed for this one though.
Yeah, this next one, wow, I never even heard of this one, even though I feel like I should have. And that's from Kino Lorber. And actually, that's a thing I meant to say earlier when we were talking about all the releases. It's like, it's almost good that this is a lesser month because between the Kino Lorber and the Vinegar Syndrome sales for Memorial Day, I was, as Tim likes to say, I fed the monolith. I need to feed it to keep it in good shape. So yeah, so I picked up a couple of things, including that I bought that Amityville Cursed collection that was a Vinegar Syndrome exclusive. It was 50% off. It was $49, normally $79. I see it on eBay now. People are still selling it for over $80 to $100 because it includes that Amityville Dollhouse one, which is out of print. And for my Amityville collection, I figured I need to get that, but really, they sucker me in with those limited numbers. I mean, this one is limited to 5,000, so it's not like it's really hard to get. But it came in a cool box set. It seems like it's got some cool features on it. It just seems like a cool set to have. And living in Amityville, I kind of felt like I need to do it. But now, this a little off topic here. It caused a problem now because now I'm like, well, if I own this, I need to get that first Amityville trilogy box set that they came out with.
Oh yeah,
and that is kind of out of print. It's still available, like on Amazon and some places, but I know on Amazon it's not Prime because it's through another place, and it's $50, so it's not bad. I mean, I'll probably pick it up. I'll just bite the bullet and pick it up this weekend. I was trying to look to see if I could find it anywhere else, but I don't see it really too many places. So I figured if I have that Curse series box set, I definitely need the first 3 box set, especially because it has the 3D version of Amityville 3D. So it's like, I tell you, these Amityville movies, it really is like, it's like a puzzle to try and get, if you want to capture them all, or Pokemon, I guess sounds more appropriate. But, yeah, so I may be picking that one up too this week. But anyway, let's get back to the real It's all Kino Lorber's fault. They had to produce this. But anyway, in this movie, the next one is Let's Kill Uncle from 1966. And it's a 12-year-old orphan who has just inherited a fortune is trapped on an island with his uncle, a former British intelligence commander who intends to kill him. Don't you hate when that happens? You go to a fan, they just... a young girl is the boy's only ally against a sarcastic... Is that really what it meant? A sarcastic uncle?
I guess.
I wonder if they meant something else there. All right. Who uses hypnotism and a pool of sharks, fire, and poisonous mushrooms as weapons. So, and this trailer highlights some of that because literally there's one scene where the kid runs out the front door and then falls into like this giant puddle of sharks. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. How did you get into the house? It wasn't like it was a moat where you walked around. Literally, it was like the front door and then this body of water. So
it's very bizarre.
I can't even figure out, but it definitely has the best tagline where it goes, "You've heard of homicide? Now see a little uncle side." So,
yeah, and the thing is, they don't play it as a comedy. Like, they play it straight. It's weird. It's the weirdest trailer. And I believe it's like a William Castle production. I think I saw in the trailer. So it's, I don't know, man. This one looks really, really wacky.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm laughing.
Oh, wait, we do have film historians.
I know, that's what I'm laughing at. And for some reason, I don't know why we don't have, but we don't have Kat Ellinger and Mike McPadden. It did sound like a feline duo, doesn't it?
Oh,
like
but Mike McPadden, he's a good Irish lad.
Yeah. His McPaddenness stats, but Kat Ellinger, we figured out, right, that
Kat Ellinger's awesome. She's cool, but we didn't do an impersonation of her. She's been around too long.
Yeah,
she's been grandfathered in.
And she's done other things other than just being a historian. So she's done other, but now. So Mike McPadden, though, like I think
he's a new one.
He's like an Irish, but I bet you he has he carries on like a little like a feline like on his lapel somehow, like a little like cat pin, like one of those old fashioned, really expensive brooches that you'd find at a yard sale that someone would say, "Oh my God, this was Herbert's." But that I think is where so Mike McPadden wears that on his lapel.
Yes.
Poor Cody's gonna have to transcribe all that.
I have a feeling he wears a green derby hat.
Oh, 100%. Yes, 100%. In fact, he's probably like Einstein. You had all the same suits. He probably opens up his closet and he's got 7 of the same hats.
All right. Well, it's always a good month when we get a new film historian.
Yeah, and the best part is he's got there's 2 theatrical trailers. So you get to watch that hilarious trailer that Tim and I watched, and a bonus of another one. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. All right. So next up, release number 5 for the week. MPI Media Group 1BR stands for one bedroom. As in the
Tim knows because he's been hunting.
That's right.
This past year, so he knows.
Yeah. So this one came from last year, 2019, and a nice little synopsis here. We all have apartment horror stories, annoying roommates, asshole landlords, dilapidated buildings, among many more nightmare scenarios. The search for a nice place to live in a desirable location with reasonable rents, decent neighbors, and soundproof walls is more of a challenge than it should be. So when Sarah lucks into a sweet one-bedroom at Asilo Del Mar Apartments, she thinks she's hit the jackpot. Situated on a quiet street in Los Angeles, it's got plenty of space, friendly tenants, group barbecues, and even a cute neighbor next door. But this being LA, all is not what it seems. Loud noises start keeping her awake at night. Her cat is missing. Probably Mike McPadden's cat.
I know, Mike McPadden's outside petting it in his green derby.
Everyone seems to be a little too helpful and friendly, except for the weirdo Lester. Soon, Sarah learns she didn't choose this apartment. It chose her.
Oh, it's like reverse Amityville.
So me and Olivia, when we were looking for houses to rent, we found this house in a little neighborhood, and it was tucked way back on this cul-de-sac, all the way at the end of this nice long road. Really nice looking neighborhood. Houses were very suburban, So we get out of the car to go look at this rental, and the guy across the street goes, "Hey, are you looking at the rental?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, well, welcome to the neighborhood. If you end up renting, I'm Joe or whatever he said. And then like this other guy comes out. Yeah. Then this other guy comes out of his house. Hey, I'm Mike. Hey, these are the guys looking at the rental across the street. Oh, really? Wow. Hey, we barbecue every night and we sit out here in our lawn chairs, social distancing, of course. And we drink beer. And we all get around and talk, and we're just a great family neighborhood. I mean, they were just like going on and on. And the minute we got into the rental, I looked at Olivia and I said, this sounds like really cool, but at the same time, I watch enough horror movies to know something's going on here. This is way too good to be true, that they sit around and drink beer every night out in the cul-de-sac. But I don't know. Maybe they were only up and up and it wasn't like the Stepford Wives or anything. But we ended up passing on that house because it was too small for what we needed. But, yeah, so that's what you get from watching a lot of horror movies, guys. You get paranoid of people being friendly to you.
Well, yeah, because it never goes well when you watch in a horror movie. So, what do you expect, really? You know, what?
This trailer reminded me of that, though. That's what was funny about it. It does actually look really good, and it reminded me, when I put in my notes here, it reminded me of an updated version of Polanski's The Tenant. I watched that one a while back. I mentioned it on the show, where he kind of moves into this apartment, and the neighbors seem pretty friendly, but then weird things start happening, and then it just goes downhill from there. That was a great movie, by the way. So if you haven't seen The Tenant.
It kind of also reminds me of like the opening of Karate Kid when Danny, so you know, when he goes to that weird apartment, the way that apartment is set up. That's You know how, from what we know, it was L.A. They might have used the same apartment. I don't know. Maybe that's like
it looked that I knew it was reminding me of something. It was definitely the opening of Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's the style apartment. It's where it's that big like open center in space, where in the space in the center, and the buildings are surrounding it. That's totally what it looks like. But then again, a lot of L.A. apartments look like that.
Yeah,
but yeah. So it was kind of funny. That's what I thought. I'm like, but I don't think this is going to be. I don't think Mr. Miyagi's there. But
no.
So the next one, because that really didn't have any special features on that one. So the next one is a Shout Factory release, and this is another one that may have possibly been, maybe not. It definitely wouldn't have got the pick of the week, but it definitely could have been in conversation just because it sounds kind of from Shout Factory. But I really don't think it. I don't know the movie enough to stand a chance. But it's Witches in the Woods, and it's Jill, a tenacious UMass freshman, abandons her studies for an off-the-grid snowboarding trip with friends. But after the sun has dipped below the horizon, their SUV mysteriously becomes lost in the freshly logged mountains, eventually running out of gas. As temperature fall, the group dynamic unravels in a virtual and then literal witch hunt begins. So it does look decent. It's something like I thought it was. For some reason, I thought this film was something else when I saw the title. But then actually, when I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh no, this is not what I thought it was. But still, it actually kind of held my attention through this trailer to the point of where it's like, I'm like, I think I want to check this one out.
Yeah, I put on the notes that it felt a little bit Blair Witchy if the kids were trapped in the car and not roaming in the woods. It's almost like they're trapped in the car by the Blair Witch.
It is. I mean,
it's not found footage though.
No, and it's probably a lot easier to find a way out of the car as than out of the woods. But,
it looks interesting. I kind of want to see this one though.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Universal Studios. This one, I struggled to even put this one on the list. Technically, it's horror, but it's kind of, Universal Studios' Doom Annihilation from 2019. Of course, this is based off the Doom video game, which I guess is technically horror, but I also consider it a lot really sci-fi and adventure and action more so. But I went ahead and put it on there anyway just to keep things consistent. Whenever I see that horror keyword, I just throw it on there. So Doom Annihilation follows a group of space marines as they respond to a distress call from a base on a Martian moon, only to discover it's been overrun by demonic creatures who threaten to create hell on Earth. And I watched this trailer. I really just have no interest. It's got those bad CGI demons in it, and it just looks, I don't know. This video game adaptations typically aren't my thing. I love video games, don't get me wrong, but the movie versions are usually not very good.
Yeah, and the Resident Evil ones were decent, but then it kind of went into way more sci-fi than it did the horror of the original one. So video game adaptations are tough, I think. It's funny, but, people are saying comic book movies are tougher, but I think the video games might be even a tougher thing to pull off.
Yeah, I think so.
But anyway, the next one we have to skip because it is our pick of the week, so we'll get back to that shortly. But then the final one before that is this one is Everfall, and it's been years since a tragic accident sidelined Eva from the intense world of competitive figure skating. In the face of increasing neglect from her boyfriend, Eva accepts an invitation from her coach to skate in a mysterious competition in the remote town of Everfall. Everfall for a skater? I don't know. Right off the bat, I turned that down. That's like me if I was a skater. That'd be my nickname, Brian Everfall. As a series of terrifying events unfold within the arena, the group confronts a horrifying sacrifice greater than any of them could have imagined. What group? I guess that's the skating group, the thing?
I guess.
But anyway, I mean, this looked okay. I mean, it wasn't definitely... From the premise of it, the trailer definitely outdid the premise, I think.
See, I would have called this Everfall, the story of Nancy Scarrigan.
Oh,
Scare again.
I see what you did there.
Yeah,
I see what you did. Yes, that was and you know I have mentioned right, but my my previous crush on Nancy Kerrigan back in the day. That was I don't know if that's one of my finer moments I'd like to share. But I did have a crush on Nancy Kerrigan, yes, in college.
Yeah, her knee had a crush, too.
Yes, it did. Tim with the ice skating puns. Look at him go.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, I mean, me, I was, if I was an ice skater, I'd also be a master of the triple putts. But,
yeah.
So.
All right, so that brings us to our wonderful June 2nd pick of the week. All right, so this one's from Scorpion Releasing. This is Fulci's classic, The Gates of Hell, aka City of the Living Dead from 1980. This is the first of the Gates of Hell trilogy, which was followed by House by the Cemetery and The Beyond, which The Beyond is one of my favorites. I really love that movie.
Yeah, and I actually have that great 3-disc set, The House by the Cemetery, that I picked up a couple of months ago. That was Amazon had it for a really good price, and I think it was in one of our other Dismemberments, so I jumped on it. So I might have to I may have to make sure I have this trilogy here.
I've still got the Beyond Anchor Bay tin, collector's tin. That they came out with way back in the day, so I've still got that. That's really neat set. It's a DVD, not Blu-ray. This was before Blu-ray. The synopsis here: the 7 gates of hell have been torn open. A reporter and a psychic race to close the portals of the damned. This one just has some great gore in it, and I love the features on this one. It has a great packed disc, so I'll run through those now. Yeah. Has a great new 4K restoration of the film with exclusive color grading. A new audio commentary with film historian Troy Howarth.
Yes.
He is our posh film historian gentleman. And Nathaniel Thompson, who also got grandfathered in.
Yes, he did. He's been mentioned. But I have a feeling he'd be very... he'd probably... like, if they were together on this, you probably wouldn't know which one was which. I have a feeling Nathaniel Thompson is very Troy Howarthy when they get together, you know?
Probably. They're probably like Statler and Waldorf.
They totally are. Like, in this case, yes, they absolutely are.
We have an audio commentary with director of photography Sergio Salvati and camera operator Roberto Forges Davanzati, moderated by film professor Paolo Albiero in Italian.
Professor? Have we ever had a film professor?
I don't know. That's fancy.
Before? Other than your logic professor? I think that's the closest we've come.
Yeah. We Are the Apocalypse, an interview with writer Dardano Sacchetti. Through Your Eyes, an interview with actress Catriona McCall. Catriona, that's a neat name.
Yeah.
Dust in the Wind, an interview with camera operator Roberto Forges Davanzati. The Art of Dreaming, an interview with production designer Massimo Antonello Galing. Tales of Friendship.
They don't have 2 names anymore? What's going on? Everyone's got a third name.
Tales of Friendship. Oh, here's one. Tales of Friendship, an interview with cinematographer Sergio Salvati. Hey. I Walked with a Zombie, an interview with Giovanni Lombardo Radici.
They're back again to the third name. We got a 1-name reprieve.
They call him Marmadone. I don't know what that means. An interview with special effects artist Gino Di Rossi. The Horror Family, an interview with father and son actors Venantino and Luca Venantini.
Oh my god.
So his name is Venantino Venantini?
Oh my god. Doesn't that sound like something that would be created by the International House of Coffees? Like, enjoy our new Venantino Venantini blend.
What was that? Yeah, the International House of Coffee. Was that the
Remember
ones that
it
had
came in that little like fancy
little
thing
tin?
that literally got you like one serving, but it was $12?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Building Fulci City, a video appreciation by Stephen Thrower, author of Beyond Terror, the films of Lucio Fulci. I want to look that book up. That sounds really
actually,
good.
That
really
seems
good
like it's got to go in Tim's library.
Yeah. Reflections of Fulci, a new appraisal of Fulci's Gothic period by actor, writer, director Andy Nyman. Ghost Stories.
That's
Yeah.
the ghost stories we like.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
The Dead Are Alive, a video essay by Kat Ellinger on Lucio Fulci and the Italian zombie cycle. Alternate title sequences, trailers and TV spots and radio spots. But man, I have seen this movie a while back. It's been quite a while, but I just remember the gore is so fantastic. And it's got that great, I love the old late 70s, early 80s Italian horror vibe to it.
It has you at Fulci. That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. Yeah, you guys need to pick this one up. This is a great pick of the week. And it starts your trilogy, so now you got a reason to buy the other 2 discs.
Well, yeah, for me, this is like now I have to buy it to get my second one. I don't know. Is the other one, is the Beyond available yet? In any kind of... We need to look at that. We'll
we'll have to
check
look that
out later.
we'll have to look that up.
Because if it is, then I know I'm buying these 2. Because now I have to, me and my completionist set, hence why Paul Blart 2 exists in my collection. Yeah. So that's why I need to, I need to look that up because I need to have the whole little trilogy there.
All right, so that brings us to the second week of June 9th. Not as big a week this time, so we won't have to go through quite as many discs, but
yes.
We do have one big release this week, so we'll kick it off with Brian. But before we get to that big release, which is our pick of the week, we have release number 2.
Yes, and that is We Summon the Darkness from 2019. It's with Alexandria Daddario. I'm sure you've seen a lot. It's been promoted heavily by like Fangoria and Dread Central a lot. They've been putting that out, just stories of it. I know it's not a Dread Central release, but all those horror sites have been really pushing this one. So it's the killing spree of a murderous Satanist has already led to 18 deaths throughout America's heartland. 3 best friends, Alexis, Val, and Beverly, embark on a road trip to a heavy metal music festival. Naive, they bond with 3 seemingly fun-loving dudes. Soon, I feel like Mike Collins would read that way. He goes, "They're fun-loving dudes.
They're fun-loving dudes. They
like
boobs.
Yeah, they're boobs. Yeah. Those fans of Coaster Radio know exactly what we're talking about. The others, we apologize, but go listen to Coaster Radio. Then you're missing out on a really awesome show. But anyway, so and soon the group heads off to Alexis's country home, a very secluded place, for an after party. What should be a night of fun and youthful debauchery may instead take a dark, deadly turn. With killers on the loose, can anyone be trusted?
No.
And to me, it kind of seemed like almost like it was in the vein. It's funny, it's also Satanists in there. It kind of had the Satanic Panic vibe to it.
It really did, yeah.
And that was one of my favorites I've seen in a while, too, was Satanic Panic. So I definitely would check this one out. I don't know if I'm going to jump on it to purchase it, but I have a feeling this one, I could see this being on Shudder pretty soon. So I'll probably grab it, or if it's on Prime or something, I'll watch it for sure once it comes out. It's got 2 featurettes, Envisioning Darkness featurette and the audio commentary with director Mark Myers, not Mike Myers, Mark Myers, and writer Alan Trezza.
Nice. All right, so next up from New Blood, we have House of Many Sorrows from 2019. Lots of 2019 releases this week.
Yeah.
Guests of a country inn begin disappearing and dying after a mentally unstable man takes over his terminally ill mother's bed and breakfast operation. Ooh, let me tell you, the trailer for this one is... Talk about micro budget. Wow. Way low budget on this one. Sorry. I know we love to support indie film. We love to support low budget film, but this one just did not grab my attention at all. This is a hard pass for me.
Right. Well, you know what it is? I blame I hate to say it. I don't like to criticize, but I blame the trailer. The trailer, if you could have made a good trailer out of this that made it appealing, I don't care if it was made by like paper mache. It was the trailer wasn't even interesting. So it's like I couldn't even I mean that's So remember, like Joe Bob says, don't blame your budget, blame your script.
Yeah,
it's not good. Because as we know, there are many low-budget movies that are actually really, really good. So, Okay. Next one, moving on. This is a much more interesting thing here. This one is Straight Edge Kegger. from 2019 by Scream Team Releasing. I don't know if we've had them before.
I don't remember them.
The
either.
other one was New Blood, which was House of Many Stars. So I don't know if either of these have been here before, but anyway, this one is a young punk and a house full of drunks square off against the gang of a militant straight edgers that he's abandoned. So that's kind of an interesting, but it kind of reminds me of that last scene of Weird Science. But anyway, yeah, I tell you, like when I first thought it was gonna be some weird, like silly horror comedy, towards the end of that trailer, they really upped it with the creepy mask game going on. There was a lot of people wearing these really disturbing looking masks, like almost that of like tourist trappy kind of thing.
Yeah, they were good.
They were very tourist trap-esque, the masks. So I tell you, they finished strong with the trailer. Makes me would give it a shot if it appeared on one of the streaming services. So.
Oh, speaking of tourist trap, there's a guy on I'm a member of several horror Facebook groups, and there's one for Monster Mania, and there's a guy that's been posting.
That's a fun one.
He's been posting his cosplay of the tourist trap guy, and oh my god, that outfit is amazing. It looks like he jumped right off the screen. It's really, really good.
Wow.
He's got the weird porcelain mask and the black hair and everything, and the suit. Oh, it looks so good.
Now you made me want to see Tourist Trap. I gotta watch that again. I haven't seen that.
Oh man, I love that movie.
Since it was on the Joe Bob Marathon. They you know, that group is hard to go in right now though because of not being able to go to cons. You know, like we would have been to New Jersey Horror Con. I mean, hopefully there is the fall season and a lot of cons are all prepped to go. Let's hope we can get there by that point. I still think it'll be different to some degree. I don't know how, what. I mean, each celebrity, I guess, to its own. You
might still have to wear a mask or something.
Yeah, you might have to wear a mask. I mean, you may not get the, and this would be a tragedy because she gives the best Felissa Rose hugs. I don't know if if that's. I would not blame her, of course, for they usually are. Sometimes maybe you won't get photos with them like you usually get. I don't know.
It's interesting.
I mean, I definitely would not hold it against them one bit. We obviously, you don't want anyone to, that's a lot of people coming in there that you have no idea where they're coming from, so you can't risk your health on that. So, I mean, I would appreciate just having it, even if we went to a con and you just got to see them and talk to them from 6 feet away. I mean, to me, that'd
be fun still.
Go visit our friends that have booths there, all that kind of good stuff. But
there's always next year too. Hopefully next year we'll get things a lot closer to normal than they are now. So,
yeah, I would hope. I think it. I have my gut tells me it's heading that way. I don't want to get too excited or anything. That's what my gut tells me. But anyway, so let's go on to our pick of the week. Let's go back, get out of the doldrums here, and pick of the week with one of my favorites of this year so far that I got to see, and I think Tim, you agreed as well.
Yes.
And this is why it had to be our pick of the week, and that is Universal Studios' long maligned and delayed, but finally released, The Hunt. And that's 12 strangers wake up in a clearing. They don't know where they are or how they got there. They don't know they've been chosen. They don't know they've been chosen for a very specific purpose, and that is The Hunt. And I will tell you, when we bought, Julie and I bought the rental for this because we both wanted to see it, and that was that thing where it was like $20 for rental, even though I knew I would buy it on Blu-ray when it came out because I had a feeling I was going to like it, but I figured we were going to see this in the theater. We couldn't. So you know what? I was going to let the theater bring it at home. So you know what? It was $20. It's still cheaper than it would have cost for Julie and I to go see it in the theater. So to me, that was a no-brainer. We loved it. We watched it 3 times during the 24-hour rental, actually.
Oh, nice.
We liked it so much.
You got your money's worth for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I definitely got my money's worth. And the best part is at one point I did have to go to the bathroom during it because I was drinking some beer with it. So that was even the more bonus for having it at home. But and this one I just loved. I think Betty Gilpin is amazing. She's good in everything I've seen her in, and this was no exception. She was so great in this. Basically, the entire cast was great in this. Even the people that had like the small roles, that are big name actresses and actors that were in it for like a couple of minutes. But yeah, this was just oh my God, what a fun movie this was. And I know it had a lot of controversy surrounding it. I don't know why. They take both sides to everything, whatever side you're on, you just go enjoy it for what it is. It's just,
it's a totally bogus controversy.
Yeah, there was no, I couldn't believe it when I saw. I was expecting something so drastic. I'm like, who had a problem with this? It was a fun, silly movie.
You would get more insulted from Saturday Night Live sketches than you would
way more.
Yeah,
this one was just, I recommend this highly. This to me was a no-brainer for Pick of the Week because it's a guaranteed purchase for me to go on the Monolith. And so it actually has a couple of good special features on here. Crafting the Hunt featurette, Death Scene Breakdown featurette, and Athena vs. Crystal Hunter or Hunted featurette. So, yeah, and if you haven't seen it, you won't know what that means, but I'm not going to say it in case you haven't seen it yet. But I think Tim and I both can agree. I can speak for Tim on this. We highly recommend this one. This is
this one's a fun
that's
movie.
Actually one I'd like to do for an episode at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that'd be a fun one.
All right, so that brings us to June 16th. We get things picking back up a little bit here in the middle of the month. The first release is one that you might expect us to pick as our pick of the week.
Yeah.
Because it is such a iconic film. That, of course, is from Paramount, Friday the 13th, 40th Anniversary Limited Edition from 1980. And instead of the movie synopsis, I actually put the synopsis of this actual disc because I thought this would be
that makes sense. I mean, who doesn't know the synopsis?
So it says, rip into the chilling uncut edition of Friday the 13th. With the addition of unrated footage and insightful special features, plunge deeper into the film that spawned 11 sequels and the genre's unstoppable bad guy, Jason Voorhees. A new owner and several young counselors gather to reopen Camp Crystal Lake where a young boy drowned and several vicious murders occurred years earlier. They've ignored locals' warnings that the place has a death curse, and one by one they find out how unlucky Friday the 13th can be as they are stalked by a violent killer.
It's got a death curse.
As much as I love this movie, A, I already own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And B, actually, I've already owned it on Blu-ray and digital.
Yeah.
And it's going to be re-released in that new Friday the 13th box set that's coming out. So I just can't see buying this as a standalone disc.
Right, and I think the version you have, Tim, already is this cut. It's the uncut edition is on that box set, and that limited edition box set that I have that I know you've been dying for, and I still, every so often, I'll pop on and look to see it for you, because I know how much you want it. That one has the uncut, too. Actually, the uncut version of this film has been around for a while. That's not new, but it is nice that they've, even with all the trials and legal issues going on, that somehow they were able to come out with another edition of this to celebrate the 40th anniversary, because this did, I mean, a lot of people, you can credit, we can go into debate for hours on this one, so we're not going to, but, obviously people say, like, Halloween started the slasher boom, or this movie starts, but you know what, this Friday the 13th kind of changed things, a lot for a while now, because it kind of it just made us like it was made so much money on such little budgets. They were able to just churn out so many of them, and people just flocked to the theaters at every time, and it spawned obviously perhaps one of the greatest slasher killers and
you can't say that it's the origin of the slasher or anything.
No.
But in terms of like making the slasher completely blow up popular in the 80s, I thought there's no denying Friday the 13th caused that great boom in slasher movies. Would it have happened without Friday the 13th? Just due to Halloween? I don't know, maybe, but I feel like to the extent that these things blew up, it was all due to Friday the 13th.
Right. I think they basically took the I think it took the seeds of Halloween, and Friday the 13th just basically grew it into something to maybe blossomed further. It like really amped that whole formula of the slasher up a major notch, and and it was it is funny because the first one, people just, it's so funny how many, and I'm sure we can say this now, because if you haven't, you're not listening to this podcast if you don't know what I'm about to tell you, but, the fact that, that so many people, like, I still talk to actually still think that, they forget that Jason wasn't really the killer in the first movie, and it's kind of funny that it's become such one. It's almost like a Mandela effect. We are like a weird.
It is,
version
yeah.
of it, because I'm like, and obviously it had that little wink, nod in Scream, in that opening scene, but it's when you think about it, that was the first for a slasher to have such a good twist at the end of it at that time, because remember, Halloween didn't have any really twist to it. You knew
No,
who the killer
yeah.
was the entire time. This, you didn't know who the killer was, and I don't know about you, but I still remember being floored that it was like a mom, some old woman.
That's a good point, though. That started that whole trend of these twist endings. Like almost every slasher that came out after Friday the 13th had some sort of little twist to it. Not all
Right.
of them, but a
No.
good portion of them did, where they had some unexpected twist to who the killer was. It was like Sleepaway Camp and, gosh, all of those, Prom Night, all of those had those little twists to them.
And the funny thing is, think about this, right? In a series, and in slashers where masks are so prevalent, literally the first movie which arguably came... I mean, you can debate whether Jason's hockey mask or Michael Myers' mask. And the only reason I think Jason's hockey mask takes over because Michael Myers' mask shifted so many times to from awesome to horrible back to awesome.
Yeah.
Think about it. A series so known for its iconic mask didn't even have the mask in the first one on the killer. The second one wasn't even the hockey mask, and it wasn't until the third one where he got the hockey mask. And it's so funny. That's how powerful that series was. If you think about it, it's like the most iconic imagery didn't even happen to the third one, but yet everyone just assumes it was there forever from the beginning.
And you know what I love about the Friday the 13th series is I can watch these movies over and over, and I just don't get tired of them.
Never.
I can sit there and watch them. I never get tired of them. I can rewatch that series over and over. And to a certain extent, the Halloween series, to an extent,
right?
Because Halloween, I really have some of my favorites, and I have my favorites in the Friday the 13th series as well. But the Halloween series, to me, like, there's some films I just don't want to sit through again, like Halloween I'm sorry, what's the one with what's his name, Busta Rhymes in it? I don't.
Oh, Resurrection.
Yeah. I don't care to watch that over and over. It's just so bad. But there's not any of the Friday the 13th movies that I won't take some entertainment value in watching again.
Oh yeah, and I mean it was like, and it was one where it was like, if the series like is a very unique series, and some like obviously the first one was what it was, and then the second one was really good for just a sequel, and horror movie sequels don't always pan out. The second one was so good and so strong also, and obviously it introduced Jason finally as, I say finally because, Jason is the killer in the second one. So then, so think about it. In the third one, it's funny. It's that trivia question that everybody, like, it's so funny. So many people get stumped on this trivia question, except I know it. And I remember I answered it online when it was, and everyone was like shooting out all the wrong answers. I'm like, come on, there's the answer, like clapping the hands, kind of, hold my beer while I answer. And that's in the third one. They didn't even, where Jason got the most iconic look, his name is never mentioned. You never hear the name Jason throughout part 3. And that's so funny to think about when that was when he got his signature look. Yeah. So go figure.
It's just neat that every film in the series has some little quirk to it that makes it worth watching again.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they and of course, like, there was that like little it's funny with like 4, 5, and 6 had the Tommy is going through it. And then it, but it could have had like, you could have had a constant like Tommy in it for the rest of the thing and keep battling Jason. But it was interesting how they did it, where you thought maybe Tommy was going to be the killer at one point, and then they flip it back on you. And so, and it just, they kept advancing, the thing. And each, like you said, though, each version of it had something so special. I know we kind of went way off tangent here about just one release that we're not even picking for the pick of the week, but I feel like it needed to be said. But yeah, so I mean, so this is, if you don't have one of the sets and you want to start your collection, I don't know if I'd buy this because there, like Tim said, there's going to be a really good box set coming out. I think in another couple of weeks, right? I think it was, or maybe is it August? It might be listed for August. I'm not sure anymore. But so I don't know if you want to jump on it, but if maybe you have the basic bare bones version, you want to improve at least for the original, then this is the disc for you, I think.
And I've got my copy signed by the original Jason. Yeah,
you do.
Got that at New Jersey HorrorCon, so that one doesn't get watched. That one just gets placed in a place of honor.
Yes, and if you've not met Ari Lehman yet, he is one cool dude and one hell of a musician.
Oh my god,
Jeez.
Just a fantastic guy. He was just awesome. All right, so Brian, next up, I think this is yours. This is the Universal Horror Collection, Volume 5. This one was from 1941 to 1945, and these. I really want to pick these up, these Universal Horror Collections, but
no, I gotta get these.
They're about $50 a pop, and which is perfectly fine for what you're getting. I mean, it's a very reasonable price, but you're getting into some films here that I'm like there's so much other stuff I want to buy that's I could spend $50 on, because these are getting into some really obscure type films from the Universal Archives. This one, I'm just going to read you the synopsis here. Volume 5 of the Universal Horror Collection includes 4 tales of terror from the archives of Universal Pictures, the true home of classic horror. A mobster's brain is transplanted into an ape who carries out his revenge in The Monster and the Girl. A mad scientist turns into an ape into a beautiful but deadly woman in Captive Wild Woman. Jungle Woman, the sequel to Captive Wild Woman, is an eerie thriller with all the danger of wild animals on the loose and a sexy killer on the prowl. And in The Jungle Captive, a scientist has experimented on reanimating animals, but now he has decided to go one step further and reanimate a human.
I see a theme with this one.
Yeah, so I'm surprised the Penny's movie from Big Bang Theory, Serial Apist,
yeah,
wasn't in here. But this one, it has some decent extras here. All these discs have an audio commentary and a theatrical trailer, so you get an audio commentary for each film, which is nice. But again, they're kind of stretching the boundaries of real horror, universal horror here. These may be good films. I don't know anything about them, and at some point I definitely want to get all of these volumes, but they're getting less and less appealing as time goes on.
Yeah, I guess I would say. I'm waiting for one of their Amazon sales. Universal has those big sales every so often, and maybe you can get it for $20 off a pop, for 30 or something each. You never know. But I'm gonna keep an eye on it. So the next one, Tim had a little faux pas, so we didn't get a trailer for this. But in his defense, the trailer I was scouring and I could not find it. So it's not that he didn't do his due diligence. It's just there was a same movie with the same title, the same year, for God's sake. Yeah. Who checks these things? Isn't there is some kind of checks that this doesn't happen? But anyway, and this movie is Chaos from Dark Force Entertainment. Not to be confused with the non-horror version. But anyway, it says Emily and her friend Angelica. Every time I hear Angelica, I'm going to think, Angelica, from the Rugrats. But go to a rave in the woods. And when they arrive, they meet a stranger called Swan that promises some ecstasy for the girls. Is that Swan from the Warriors? I don't know. Okay. They follow him to a cabin into the forest, where they meet sadistic gang led by the psychotic Chaos. The girls are abused, tortured, and raped in a night of nightmare and murder. That was I know Tim just copies and pasted that, but that's
really a terrible synopsis. Yeah,
poorly worded synopsis, and there's no features or trailer or anything. So yeah,
we know nothing about this movie other than it was 2005. That's all we know.
That's the strongest detail we could give you.
Okay, next up, this is from Pink Aiga EIGA.
Yeah, I don't know.
This one's called Deadly Crush from 2018. When a painter rents a secluded cabin to jumpstart her creativity, she has sex with a ghost and finds herself part of his wicked plan to bring itself back to life.
That's funny you brought that up when in Kim and Ket's latest episode.
Yeah.
They brought up that whole phenomenon.
There's some weird thing going on with people.
With Amethyst Realm or whatever her name is. Yeah. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, I put in here this might be what would have happened if in the movie Ghost if Patrick Swayze had done more than just pottery.
Yeah, but still stay in the artistic world. It was funny when you read this, a painter rents a secluded cabin. I said, And it's to jumpstart her creativity. I thought she was literally like the other kind of painter, where she was gonna like paint the cabin.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's smart. You know, she's gonna restore a cabin, sell it for profit. But no, had that way off.
Oh.
But yeah, but it has more Sadler in it. So
It does have more Sadler.
William Sadler. So anytime you get Sadler, that automatically propels it up. And it's funny, even if you watch the trailer, his name is so highlighted.
Yeah.
But yeah, when once you have William Sadler, you know you already have something watchable.
Exactly. Yeah, but no extras on this one, unfortunately.
No. The only extra is your imagination of enjoying William Sadler in another role.
Yes.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Next one we got another. Oh no, the other one was Dark Force. This is Dark Side releasings. Hyde's Secret Nightmare from 2011. It says Henry Chagall is a disgruntled scientist who suffers from impotence.
That's why he's disgruntled.
Yeah, that's easily why he's disgruntled. I mean, you know, all the scientific knowledge could not prevent this. Okay. His unfortunate situation leads him and crippled assistant Hans. Boy, he's got a rough environment. And crippled assistant Hans to explore unusual methods, including experimentation on fresh corpses. Henry finally, why didn't he just go for pink Viagra?
Yeah,
wasn't that what that company was? Oh, no, pink Viagra. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why didn't you just go for anyway.
Pink Viagra?
He's not a very good scientist. It says Henry finally succeeds in reanimating a deceased man's reproductive organs by injecting a volatile fluid. Although it will take a decade to safely use on living subjects, Chagall decides to test the serum on himself. Why does he know all that? Okay. But I will say it had a creepy trailer, and I may or may not have seen Abe Vigoda. I'm not sure.
So we're saying he was experimenting on a stiff to cure his impotence.
Yeah, he does. But I tell you, just that whole think about this. Poor guy's walking around. I can't even say that joke. It's too horrible. Never mind. I'll tell you offline what I was gonna say. But okay. I can't say.
I can only imagine.
You know.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, we'll say it after.
Yeah, but
I'll say it after.
This one feels very Italian-y, but without the nostalgia for the 70s because it's modern. So it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I did not read the synopsis before I watched the trailer, and I did not realize that this was the subject matter of the movie. This makes me even less want to see it. So I don't know about this one. All right. Well, that brings us to our pick of the week. So, Tim and Brian, why did you not pick Friday the 13th? You say. Well, again, we told you because it's coming out in a box set. You're going to get this. You're going to get the same content later on. And why didn't you pick the Universal Horror Collection? Well, because it's all about gorillas.
Yeah.
And, so, we went with this one, which is a fantastic Shout Factory release, and it's a movie I've really wanted to see. It's from 2009, and I cannot believe I haven't seen this one yet because it looks.
I know this is the one I could have
intriguing.
sworn I've been meaning to see, and I don't know how it escaped us.
Yeah, it just keeps dodging us. I'll go ahead and read the synopsis. You heard the story, the one about the goriest, bloodiest splatterfest ever, the one made in the 80s but mysteriously lost. Flash forward to now. Young Fright fans search for the secret location where the movie was shot, hoping to find the film. What they find is that the mysterious slasher flick is more than a movie, it's real. And there, its newest stars. The Hills runs red. The Hills run red. The Hills run red with a whole new level of horror as the terrified cinephiles confront a demented killer who wears a nightmarish baby doll mask. Wait, Babyface is just a character from the movie, right? Wrong. He's alive. He's waiting, and he's thrilled to meet fans who will die slowly, gruesomely, shockingly for his art. Roll camera.
You know, when you read that synopsis, I could picture, like, Dana Carvey going, like, wait, Babyface is just a character for the movie, right? Wrong! Pachamando!
This one, and it's right up our alley. I mean, it's got an intriguing lost film. It's got a baby doll face killer. Why have I not seen this? And wait till you hear these extras. Oh my gosh, what a packed disc. We got a new audio commentary with director Dave Parker and Patrick Bromley of F This Movie podcast. Which we're going to get a commentary on a disc one day these days.
We need to. I know. With all our connections we're making now, we need to get one on there.
New audio commentary with director Dave Parker and filmmakers Joe Lynch and Adam Green.
Oh wow, that would be fun because that's like their whole movie crypt. Podcast right there.
New Deep in the Red, an interview with writer David J. Shaw and director Dave Parker. New Running to the Hills, an interview with executive producer Eric Olson. New Musical Terror, an interview with composer Frederick Weidman. New Friday the 13th, June 2008, a tour of the set with director Dave Parker, never before seen. New The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Improv, interviews with the cast, never before seen. New William Sadler as Wilson Weiler Concannon, an interview with the actor from the set, never before seen. New
William Sadler!
Yay, more Sadler. New Janet Montgomery as Serena, an interview with the actress from the set, never before seen. New Sophie Monk as Alexa Concannon, an interview with the actress from the set, never before seen.
Weiler Concannon. That's his name. Wilson Weiler Concannon. Okay.
New Tad Hilgenbrink as Tyler, an interview with the actor from the set, never before seen. New Alex Wyndham as Lalo, an interview with the actor from the set, again, never before seen. New interview with the producer Robert Meyer Burnett from the set.
Oh. You know what he did?
No.
He did one of my favorite movies, Free Enterprise. Remember the one where it's the two Star Trek fans meet up with William. I love that movie.
New production scrapbook, new original animatic for the proof of concept trailer, new proof of concept trailer, the original audio commentary with director Dave Parker, writer David J. Shaw, and producer Robert Meyer Burnett. And it's not real until you shoot it. The Making of the Hills Run Red. And if that's not enough for you, a trailer. So this is not just packed with extras; it's packed with new extras that have never been released before. That's why I thought it was just a perfect pick of the week, because this is all new content.
And I'd like to say, Tim, a movie with so that could be defined by having Sadler in it. I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah.
Did you see what I did there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Let's move on to week number.
Okay.
I was going to say week number 23.
Yeah, it just feels like
June 23rd.
Yeah, June 23rd is a very, very short week. Only 2 releases this week, and I double checked that, and there's only 2 coming out this week. So, take it away, Brian, with our first one, which the first one is our pick of the week. Can't do that one.
Yeah.
I'll let you
we'll do the second one though. It's a Shout Factory release, and it's The Spider, aka Earth vs. the Spider. It says teenagers from a rural community and their high school science teacher join forces to battle a giant mutant spider. And they had the best sequence in this trailer where they had the voiceover say, "They search ceaselessly for a missing man or possibly a giant spider." How could you not tell the difference? If that's the mindset they go into, you're never going to find anything. I'm just saying. Anyway, it says possibly a giant spider. No one. Wait, I'll read the whole thing again because I interrupted. It says they search ceaselessly for a missing man or possibly a giant spider no one really believes exists, except a high school teacher who knows his science and his students.
Yeah, this one's 1958. By the way, this is a classic monster movie. So
yes.
Yeah,
and this is exciting coming up on this special features because we got the new 2K restoration from the original camera negative and a new audio commentary by filmmaker and film historian Ted Newsom. Now I think Ted Newsom. Okay, I'm gonna go differently here. I think he's kind of goes around like a Magnum PI, like one of those Hawaiian shirts,
Yes.
He's like a cool dude, with the boat shoes, and he's like, so film, man, film's cool.
Does he have a Tom Selleck mustache?
At 100%.
Okay, 100%. All right, yeah.
And when he doesn't, it's just you still see the shape of it. Even the one day where he shaves, you totally still see the outline, and it appears as if it was there.
Okay,
but so he's like one of the. I totally think he's like that kind of cool, laid back, kind of California vibe.
I like it, yeah.
Like he only reviews films from the last 5 years. That's how chill he is, Even though this movie was released in 1958. But to him it was 85. He went back.
Man, Cody's got her work cut out for her.
Yeah, sorry, Cody. And thank you again, by the way, for updating it as of last week. But so then it comes with a Mystery Science Theater 3000 Earth vs. the Spider, so that's kind of cool. You get it's almost like getting another movie. 8mm version of the Earth vs. the Spider, theatrical trailer, which was great as we watched it, and still gallery of rare photos, including behind the scenes images.
Wow.
So yeah,
okay.
that's a kind of a fun disc. You know what? Now that I read that disc, it's a lot closer to the pick of the week than I thought, but with only 2, one of them had to lose.
Yeah, and this other one, when I found out it was directed by, let's not get it. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, this has a lot of civil gore cachet going for it.
Yeah. So our pick of the week for June 23rd. Okay, this is from Keto Lorber. This is Murder by Decree from 1979. And when I found out this was directed by Bob Clark, this instantly became a pick of the week. I did not know. I had never heard of this movie. I had not.
No, but wait, there's more.
Oh my God, this sounds like a Tim movie if I've ever heard one.
Yeah.
Again, I said 1979. Sherlock Holmes is drawn into the case of Jack the Ripper, who is killing prostitutes in London's East End. Assisted by Dr. Watson and using information provided by a renowned psychic, Robert Lees, Holmes finds that the murders may have its roots in a royal indiscretion and that a cover-up is being managed by politicians at the highest level, all of whom happen to be Masons. Holmes races to save the life of Annie Crook, who has been forcibly incarcerated in an insane asylum, and that of her friend Mary Kelly, in whom she has entrusted her secret. And I love Sherlock Holmes. I love horror. I love Bob Clark. I love Jack the Ripper. I mean, this is a no-brainer for me.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. We're getting there.
And the funny thing is, it says who happen to be Masons. Or no, did they mean James Mason? Because I was going to say it's funny because James Mason is in this. Is that who they meant when they said happens to be Masons?
Oh, I think they're thinking of the secret society of the Masons.
Oh, so that's stunt casting right there.
Yeah, that really is. Yeah.
But that's not even the most exciting piece of casting in this.
Oh my God! So we got newly remastered by Studio Canal version of the film, and here we go. A new audio commentary by film historians Howard S. Berger, which
I gotta think about.
I've got one for him.
Okay,
and Steve Mitchell.
I have a feeling Steve Mitchell. I'll go with that. I'll let you. You can do Howard Berger, but I think Steve Mitchell was just Howard S. Berger's friend from high school. That he was always getting picked on, and Howard S. Berger befriended him because he's just a good guy. And I think it's kind of like I kind of get the vibe of like, you ever see Burt Wonderstone? I think Burt and Anton. I think that's what I see there. I think that's their origin story, except instead of doing magic, they've done film historians.
Oh, see, that doesn't really jibe with my version of Howard S. Berger.
I'm sorry.
We'll have to see.
We'll see. Let's see. Maybe
my
we can
version
make it work.
My version of Howard S. Berger is sort of like a boss hog type. He's got a he likes his burgers, and that kind of jibes with his name. But yeah, he's a portly fellow, and may even have a cigar. But he's Howard S. Berger. But
it works. Yeah. You know why it works? Because remember, Burt and Anton did have a falling out when Burt got too big. So there you go.
There you go.
See, it works. It's like that's the origin story. But then they've rekindled later on when Howard S. Berger realized the error of his ways, that he forgot what got him there, which was his good buddy who stuck by his side all the time, Steve Mitchell. Poor Cody. Cody's gonna quit. Yes. She's gonna quit with this one alone. This is gonna take her 9 hours of trying to figure this out.
When I'm not reviewing films, I open up a restaurant. Burgers.
God, can you imagine? Where I leave the last S off and put it in the middle. Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, and don't worry. Well, I know I sound like a bit of a pompous man, but you know what? I'm grounded by my good friend Steve Mitchell.
Steve has always been the angel on my shoulder.
Steve Mitchell doesn't have a voice because I can't think of one. But
where are we going with this? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm imagining Boss.
Went from Boss Hogg to like this portly fellow with a muddled accent.
All of our film historians eventually go British, and I'm thinking of this Boss Hogg talking in a British accent. Which is
I don't know. Well, there you go. That's no one ever created a character like that.
Oh, but the Dukes of Hazzard. Duke is a British title, so
that is true.
It all starts making sense now.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
That would be a great. Tell me that would. Oh my God! Tell me that is not a great cosplay. You show up in the General Lee, but you come out dressed as like a royal duke, and you are the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh my God!
That's what Tim and I are. That's it. Tim and I are showing up the next New Jersey Horror Con. We go to that as our cosplay. We will be Sir Beau and Sir Luke, the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Poor Cody's probably lost completely where we went with these films.
I'm lost completely.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I'm recording the show.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one to try and recreate ever again. Okay.
All right, so another audio commentary with director Bob Clark, theatrical trailer, Murder by Decree, Sherlock Holmes, Jack the Ripper, no brainer. That's got to.
Yes, but you forgot one of the. There's an appearance of someone in there who's been. Well, at least part of him has been the subject of many Civil War discussions.
How could I forget that wonderfully
I don't know.
Smooth baby powder soaking? You dump baby powder on that ass and it just soaks it up like a sponge. We're talking, of course, of Donald Sutherland, who in a young baby-faced appearance in this movie, I'm sure his buttocks were just as smooth as a billiard ball.
Yeah, no, they were like freshly padded, like from diapers in this. That's how young he is. But oh boy, where did we go with this? This show, Murder by Decree. Like it's our pick of the week, and we've just shown it no respect.
This show, this
does sound like a really cool movie, and it looks really good.
Yeah,
that we saved it.
Don't try to salvage it, Brian. It's gone too. We've gone too far.
We need Steph from Anna and the Apocalypse to just drive up and say, "Boom, saved your podcast." But that's what we need. But
it's been a nice run, everybody. We just lost our last listener.
We knew it had to end sometime. Okay.
All right. Well, that brings us to the final week of June, June 30th. We have 4 releases this week.
Yes.
And this will round out this crazy little month of June. So, Brian, kick it off with our first release.
Okay. And this one is Severin Films comes with the complete Lindsay Baker Giallo collection. I don't know why Baker made me totally tongue-tied to not be
It made you want to say Jello, didn't it?
It did. I almost said Jello. Get the Jello. Okay, so collection 1969. It's so funny. Once again, it's me doing Adam Sandler doing Bill Cosby. It's not me actually knowing how to do a Bill. Anyway, 1969 to 1972. So it had a really long run.
Yeah.
Apparently. All 3 years.
All 3 years.
There was no trailer for this. That's okay. It's got a lot of it's got, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 films.
4 films on it. Okay. And that the first one is Orgasmo, which I also saw. It happens to be my pick of the week coming up. I mean, my guess later, isn't it?
Yeah, that's going to be released as a standalone.
Yeah, so it's double whammy here. And it's got a new remaster of the director's cut of the film, the U.S. X-rated version. So Tim gave me an X-rated film.
Of course I did.
Oh my God, I don't even know. Oh God, God help us on this next part. It's got an audio commentary with film critic, author and academic Alexandra Heller Nicholas. I know it's not a film historian, but Tim, I know you got something for.
Oh, I think you know what Alexandra Heller Nicholas is up to. That saucy little minx.
I picture her as like the Karen Black's role in a Trilogy of Terror. Remember, she's like looked like the studious teacher, but she's really got like a dark side.
Yes, she's a naughty teacher.
Yes, she is. Like she's like the song that like what was the Hot for Teacher was made for. I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's Alexandra Heller Nicholas.
Yes. and if that wasn't enough, you have the audio commentary with film critic and same one. Audio commentary with Mondo Digital's Nathaniel Thompson and Troy Howard.
Troy Howard.
Oh.
No, that's Softcott. Softcott's the laugher.
Damn it. Yeah. They're blending in. I can't
No, Troy Howard is a posh gentleman. He's not. He would never laugh at his own sentences.
That's right. The laughing is beneath him. He just does one little chortle in one breath.
Yes.
Anyway.
Please don't go look these people up in real life because they're not going to match our colorful descriptions.
No. Except that Purrington. He is actually a cat. No. Giallo Fever, interview with director Umberto Lenzi. It has a U.S. trailer, a bonus CD soundtrack, which is Orgasmo Remastered Soundtrack. Really detailed. Okay. The next one is movie in So Sweet, So Perverse. And that is a new 2K restoration of the film from the original camera negative, audio commentary with Kat Ellinger, author of All the Colors of Sergio Martino. I know he's been discussed before. They definitely. Lindsay's Lenses. Oh, come on. Really? That sounds like a store on like Fifth Avenue back in the 1950s. Backstage chat with director at the 1999 Nocturno Film Festival. Equilateral Triangle, screenwriter Ernesto Gastaldi on Lindsay. Trailers, an alternate credit sequence, and a bonus CD, So Sweet, So Perverse, and A Quiet Place to Kill remastered soundtracks, plus bonus track, Knife of Ice, the main title theme. Interesting. So I guess that leads in because the next movie is A Quiet Place to Kill, so I guess they came out around the same time.
Sounds like a James Bond film.
Yeah, it does. Quiet Place to Kill.
God, how many new film historians did we add?
I know. We thought we had none.
Yeah.
New remaster of the film. Audio commentary with author and critic Sam Daihan.
I'll say Deegan.
Deegan.
Sam
Deegan. It's like the Gremlins are coming after him. Okay, this has got to be the best special features on any disc.
Are we gonna create a character for Sam Deegan? Deegan.
Well, he's not a historian. So
okay,
I don't know.
he doesn't.
Does he get a full character? I don't know.
No, he doesn't get escalated. We're gonna pass on him. We got enough.
He got the Gremlins impersonation. That's enough for him. Sex and Conspiracy interview with director Umberto Lenzi. Alternate credit sequence. Alternate clothed scene. Well, now why would you add that to a movie? Really?
If you're buying a set that has Orgasmo in it,
yeah,
your delicate sensibilities are not going to require an alternate clothed scene.
Yeah, that is probably got to be the most misplaced special feature on any disc. And then a short deleted scene. What? Why? Why did it have to say short deleted? Oh my god. Anyway. Knife of Ice is the last movie in this box set of joy here. A new 2K restoration of the film from the original camera negative. Carol and Umberto's final stab. Interview with Stephen Thrower.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Author of Nightmare USA.
That's another book I got to get.
Yeah. Tim's got a lot of work cut out for him. Until the Silence Screams. Interview with director Umberto Lenzi. A trailer and an alternate credit sequence. So yeah, it's got not a bad disc, I guess, if you're a fan of porn. I really don't know what this is about.
Boobs. It's got boobs.
It's got boobs.
Boobs.
Yeah.
I can't say it like he can.
No one can. That's the thing. That's it. I've never had a harder impersonation to do than when Mike says boobs. He can't do it. I can do his he goes, they're cool dudes. That I could do.
Yeah, they're cool dudes.
But when he says boobs,
because there's a little bit of boobs in dudes, but I can't.
That's what. Yeah. Oh, see, there you almost got it. You almost had it.
Dudes.
It's just his ooh sounds. He accentuates. It's just the most perfect melodic way that only Mike Collins.
And it stretches it out just a fraction of a hair too long, which makes it just it's
right. Just when you're starting to get really uncomfortable at its length, he cuts it off.
It's just brilliant. All right, so
takes it away from you.
Next up is Vinegar Syndrome's The Immortalizer from 1989. A crazed scientist sends out his mutant creations to kidnap young, beautiful men and women to bring back to his lab so he can replace their brains with those of old, wealthy people. Oh, that sounds like Get Out.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I think, said that in the comments of this trailer. I've seen reviews of this. Tell me this is not a future Joe Bob.
When you said that, that's why I didn't even put a description here, because you said it all. This has future Joe Bob written all over it.
Got scientist foo, mutant creation foo, men and women foo.
This has a brand new 2K restoration of the film from an Inner Positive. Making a Crazy Movie, an interview with director Joel Bender. A Philosophy of Light, an interview with cinematographer Alan Queso. Promotional still gallery and reversible cover artwork.
Even the director sounds like someone Joe Bob would say. He's like, the crazy thing, Darcy, about Joe Bender is he once went out for a hamburger and came back with a feature film.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
I really hope Shudder picks this one up, because I
my
see
God.
a Joe Bob
maybe we should request it. We should just tell them, listen,
we want the Immortalizer.
Darcy, Joe, please, you need to do this one.
All right, so you're gonna do this one, Brian. You're up to talk about our next release.
Oh God. Okay. So
this is Orgasmo from 1969, and Brian's gonna tell us all about what Orgasmo is about.
All right. So now here's the thing. It's 1969, so there was only so much Orgasmo they could show, I guess, at the time.
Oh, really? There is an X-rated version of this film.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. It is X-rated, so that's a thing though. But I think I'm wondering what X-rated meant at that time. So, because remember, there are some horror movies that they decided they were going to go X-rated because yeah. So, all right, I'm thinking this has something to do with some kind of mad scientist that could somehow he creates something that some kind of creature that comes out and just gives orgasms to a bunch of women. I don't know.
I've got to look this one up.
Oh, you weren't even ready.
I wasn't even ready.
I could have said anything.
Okay. Do you want to hear? I'm going to do a. You know, we're still good on time. I'm going to read the entire. I don't want to read that. That's not actual. That's the actual full plot. I don't think I need to do that. So hang on. Yeah. I'm gonna look this up in real time. Here, Orgasmo. I get to put this in my search engine, Brian. So that's great.
Woo. Yeah, Tim's gonna have a lot.
This one's
gonna go to his brand new home with a new internet, and he's gonna have the
this one has
fans outside the door.
This is an AKA. It was released as Paranoia in the U.S. So,
I wish I would have known that. That might have changed my opinion in no way whatsoever.
Well, this is disappointing. The synopsis is really bad for this one. A rich and lonely American widow befriends two young people whose motives become suspect.
Really?
So
that's it.
If you didn't watch the trailer for this, I'm assuming because you didn't want to.
No, I didn't. Because
the trailer is full of like lesbian hijinks. I would say
hijinks. I didn't watch it because I won't watch the ones that I see that are my guess because that would be cheating.
Yeah, and you've got this kind of Mia Farrow-ish from Rosemary's Baby looking lead. And she's getting hot and heavy with another lesbian, and there's some straight stuff going on, and it lives up to its name. I would say the trailer looks interesting. There are some this thing goes from it starts off with like a lesbian scene, and then it cuts immediately to like a dance party. So you know this was like late 60s. And then
there's your 60s.
And then it will cut to like a woman screaming. Like there's no flow to this trailer whatsoever. It's hilarious. You got to go check it out if you want Orgasmo in your YouTube search. So yeah. So
I don't know. It's like I'll tell you though. It's funny. This box set though is like it's like slightly appealing just because of the.
Oh, I mean, I think it's. Like, to be serious for a second, the fact that you have all these Giallo films in a single box set is kind of cool. I think it may be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm rushing out to grab it or anything, but it's interesting though. Like as you know, as in terms of film history goes, it might be a nice set to some point own for some people, I guess.
Well, that does bring us to our pick of the week, and this box set would actually be our pick of the week if not for this movie. So let's get right to it. Our pick of the week for June 30th. This is Shout Factory's Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, 1974. This is the last of the Hammer Frankenstein films, and it deals with the Baron hiding out in an insane asylum so that he may continue his experiments with reanimating the dead, along with inmate Dr. Helder, who has been institutionalized for conducting such experiments. So I mean, as a Hammer Frankenstein film, I had to choose this one. This is what I'm definitely going to be picking up as part of my Hammer project. So this is a great trailer. So this one kind of was a no-brainer for me. Like I said, that box set is really nice, but it's also very expensive. I went and looked at the prices on that, and I think that box set was like over $100.
Wow, for 4 movies?
Yeah, it was expensive. So I was like, you know what? I can't really recommend that as a pick of the week because it's kind of it's out of the budget of most of us, I would think, for something like that. So I went with the more reasonable pick of the week, which was this Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. And it's always good to have a Hammer film on Blu-ray. I mean, this is just great.
I see what I mean, I think this would have edged it out anyway, but that would have been, but when it's $100, the pick of the week, that has to go into your consideration because that's like more of like, if you're going to kind of buy something like every 6 months, you buy something of that expense.
Yeah.
You don't buy that per week.
Now, I did not catch any features on this one, which is unusual for a Shout Factory disc. Even though this is an older title. So you may have to go double check behind me on the features on this one. But when I created this rundown, I did not see any features listed, and it may just be a bare bones disc. I don't know, but it's always good to have these Hammer films on Blu-ray. So I
can't imagine it being that bare bones, being a Shout Factory, though.
Yeah, I would hope there's. I'm gonna check out on Amazon right now and see if they've added any extras. Because sometimes Amazon will list the extras even when my Blu-ray source doesn't.
Yeah, because I notice, Blu-ray.com is really good with that stuff, but I've noticed sometimes they're like, until they get their features 100% confirmed, they don't.
Yeah.
Some sites will put on speculated features, but this one doesn't. I know they don't do that.
Yeah, so
they will sometimes they will only put it on if they have it for sure.
Yeah, this one, even Amazon doesn't list any special features, so I'm not sure about this one. We may have to wait till we get a little closer to the end of the month. And see if they list any. Maybe they're not finalized yet.
Well, you know what? They have no choice because it's our pick of the week, so therefore they have to buy it regardless.
Yeah, you got to buy it regardless. This movie would be worth owning even without the features, I think, just because it's a Hammer film and has the distinction of being the last of the Frankenstein Hammer films. So that is our pick of the week, and that wraps things up, Brian, for June 2020. And
that was a fun week though for a weird month of a fun month, weird month, but fun. And I once again, I think we need to apologize to Cody for the work that we have that she has cut out for her to update this one. But she's got a month till she needs to worry about getting it in.
It's a weird month because it's a very uneven month. You had some really good titles, but I wouldn't say you had a lot of really good titles. A lot of this was really mediocre stuff. And some real clunkers in here. So June, definitely not as great as May in terms of releases, but I think there was enough in here, especially if you go back and listen to our picks of the week, that you can find something worth your dollar. And it remains to be seen what July is going to look like. It could be maybe sort of like this, a little bit uneven, but average, but with some gems in it. Or it could be just really bad and nothing coming out. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. You know what I think that what's weird about this month? I think there's a lot of good movies coming out, but not ones that necessarily you'd want to see them, but you may not want to really buy them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think, and that's the trickiness of it. Because I notice a lot of the movies that I on here, I'm like, oh wow, I want to see this, but I don't want to just buy it blindly either.
Yeah.
So I think that was what the dilemma was, and then there's also you have your mix of the big movies like The Hunt and. What was the other one that was the other big one that was coming out?
You got the Jaws 4K.
Oh, the Jaws 4K, stuff like that. Those are kind of bigger named movies that are coming out. So I don't know. Either way, though, I think this was it's definitely an interesting month, and you'll definitely find yourself finding stuff. I mean, I know, and you look at it this way, it's like maybe this is a month that, if, I know, I don't mean to make light, obviously, some people are, out of work or their hours are cut. And so you may not have as much expendable income, but, then again, if some people are working from home, they save on gas, maybe they're not going places and eating out like they used to. So they may have some money, maybe then you just buy one of these discs.
Yeah.
That you may not have bought just because, give yourself a little treat. You deserve to treat yourself a little bit if you can, and even if you buy one disc a week, I mean, you can end up, treating yourself once a week to something at least.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody who had the nice comments about our Lauren Compton episode, which all the credit to her because she was a fabulous interview, but that was a really fun show to record and create. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So, we'll see you guys back here next week, the normal episode, and I hope you enjoy these Discmemberments. I think people do. I think people really like these episodes, and we're going to keep making them as long as they keep putting Blu-rays out there.
Yes, and as long as those film historians keep on giving us fodder.
Yes. All right, guys, take care.
See you later.